Good evening to wards 1 and 2. This is indeed a strange situation to be in, that we need to use this way of talking to you. Very welcome to everybody. This is the session where we explain how the IDP works and what it is surrounded by. And it was all made necessary, unfortunately, by COVID and load shedding. And since we don't know when that's going to happen, it may happen anytime. That's the reason why we're doing this in this basis, and also gives you the chance to actually go through it thoroughly at your leisure. Stating that this is the IDP presentation for Franschhoek of wards 1 and 2, and in the month of December 21. In the presentation, we'll have 9 parts to go through. The first one being opening and welcome, then the legal framework, and then the timeline with the 5th generation integrated development plan. Noting that we've just completed the previous session and now, of course, having to, with the new council, starting the new one. Fourth part will be the IDP public presentation process. Fifth will be the objectives of the IDP public participation and public participation model. 6 will be the services requests. 7, the 2021-22 community feedback per portfolio. And 8 will be the 2022 to 2027 ward priorities. And then finally, announcements. In the presentation, you'll find a whole lot of abbreviations. I will not go through them, but as you go through, you may need them to find out what they are standing for. Thank you. Okay, why are we doing this? In our legal framework, the Municipal Systems Act, Section 25(1)(a)(b), each municipal council must, within a prescribed period after the start of its election term, adopt a single, inclusive and strategic plan for the development of the municipality, which A, links, integrates and coordinates plans and considers proposals for the development of the municipality, and B, aligns the resources and capacity of the municipality with the implementation of the plan. And then also under section 29(1)(b), the process followed by a municipality to draft its integrated development plan, including its consideration and adoption of the draft plan, must, through appropriate mechanisms, processes and procedures established in terms of Chapter 4, allow for 1, the local community to be consulted in it, on its development needs and priorities, and 2, the local community to participate in the drafting of the integrated development plan, and organs of state, including traditional authorities and other role players, to be identified and consulted on the drafting of the integrated development plan. Okay, so the timeline, remember it's a 5-year program. We start off in 2022-23 to set up the whole 5th generation IDP that will then last from 2022 to 2027. Then we come back in the year 2023-24, which is the first year review, and report on year 1 and review ward priorities, also the way forward. Again, in 2024-25 would be the second year of review. We report on year 1 and 2 and review ward priorities. And so we go on to 2025-26, the third year review, report on year 1, 2, and 3, and review ward priorities. And then finally in 2026-27, the 4th year review, report on the 5th generation IDP achievements for all of the 5 years. Thereafter, we have another election and the whole process restarts. The IDP participation process, as envisaged then, from December 21 to May 22, starting off on the 29th of May to 12th of January, we'll be doing analysis, community issues, priorities brought to the municipality's attention. Then from January 2022 to February 22, there's the strategy. Sessions will be with council and management. Community issues are discussed. to find possible solutions. And then step 3, that's from February 2022 to March 2022, we'll do the project plan and integration. Details for possible solutions are discussed to determine what is needed in the budget, how, who, time, and when things will be done. Okay, on the 30th of March then, the draft 5th generation IDP, Council approves the draft 5th IDP and budget for public participation. So from April 22 to May 22, there will be a public participation process and adoption, and the adoption will normally take place on the end of May 2022. So final 5th generation IDP and budget process, thus completed. The public participation model again, the pre-recorded video, which is currently happening, will be made, and then the inputs from the public can be done through the municipal website on www.stellenbosch.gov.za or the Stellenbosch Citizens app, downloaded from the Google Play Store, or iStore or Windows Store and Java. You can also do this via WhatsApp and on the number 067 427 1556, or you can email us at idp@stellenbosch.gov.za. Right, November to December 2021, opportunity to provide feedback to the public on year 5 of the 4th generation IDP. Opportunities to engage the public with regards to drafting of the 5th generation IDP. The public and all stakeholders of the municipality are encouraged to submit inputs and comments to the municipality by Wednesday, 12 January 2022. Then, in order and in all matters pertaining to faults that you may experience in the municipality, we have a system called Let's Fix It. And this system we then use to record faults and make sure that we actually achieve the repairs of the faults concerned. So if for Stellenbosch, Klapmuts, Kayamandi, Jamestown and Wraithby, please call us on 021-808-8215 or 8953 or 8343. For the Dwars River region and Franschhoek, please call us on 021-808-8632. After hours for all regions, you can call us on 021-808-8890 or 8891. Alternatively, you can send an email to engineering.services@stellenbosch.gov.za or a WhatsApp line, and you can WhatsApp us on 076 951 0768. Please note that this WhatsApp is for WhatsApps only. I mean, this line is for WhatsApps only. You will not be able to talk on that. So please, we really want the public to tell us when things are going wrong. We don't normally travel down the streets to look at streetlights, whether they're working or not. We ask the public to please let us know. Same thing with potholes and so on, and we will make sure that those are repaired quite quickly. Then the community feedback per portfolio. The first portfolio we'll be looking at is the planning, local economic development and tourism. And first of all, we look at the unemployment and job creation. The job creation through a serious concern, though a serious concern of at local government level, is not a municipal mandate. However, the Stellenbosch municipality continued to create an enabling environment for investment to contribute to job creation through economic development, strategies, and business development. Just to make sure that this is well understood, note that we can't create jobs, but we can create a good enough environment for people to create jobs. Currently, the number of the Expanded Public Works Program, or EPWP for short, projects have been increased and additional funding provided to ensure that more job opportunities are created. EPWP contracts are awarded in terms of the Memorandum of Agreement between the municipality and the National Public Works, or NPW. The EPW are therefore different to the fixed-term contracts offered by the municipality. The municipality will provide EPWP contracts for residents registered on the Municipal Job Seekers database, and through the database, the municipality can accurately monitor the manner the contracts are allocated by each user department. Currently, all employment opportunities within the municipality are made available through the human resource policies governing the recruitment and selection. There are also other employment mechanisms which are implemented with the municipality through various funding resources, e.g. EPWP, provincial and national government funded internships, etc. Okay, there you can see a graph of the number of EPWP areas that we've employed per area. And you can see by far the most area that we've employed from is Kaimandi. And you can see that from all of the wards there. Again, numbers of EPW workers per ward. And you can see Ward 12 in Kaimandi is the highest in this slide. The number of EPWP per age, gender and race breakdown. You can see that the blue gives the number and the brown the percentage. So in over the last year, non-youth was 365 and 41.06%, and the youth was 524, 58.94%. If you look at the gender breakdown, you'll see that the number of males is 411, which represents 46.23%, and females 478, which represents 53.77%. Then looking at tourism, the municipality is currently finalizing the draft Stellenbosch Municipality Economic Development Strategy, which will undergo a public participation process as part of the IDP process. Funding is provided for qualifying local tourism organizations, LTO, the abbreviation. The request for LTOs to submit proposals for the 22-23 financial year will be advertised during the January 2022 month. Looking at the local economic development, currently industrial park areas are designated within Klapmuts, Clutisville and Kayamandi. The need for additional light industry parks must be evaluated and must be informed by the economic development strategy. The portfolio then for integrated human settlements, starting at housing development. Housing is a challenge as resources are and allocations from national and provincial government remains limited and the backlog tremendous. So we normally find the backlog grows with the current resources that we have. So backyard dwellers, the Directorate Infrastructure Services has launched an investigation into the possibilities of providing basic services for backyarders by taking into account the necessary legislation that prohibits the municipality from working on privately owned land. And in terms of that, we are allowed to make more than one electricity connection or make more than one water connection or sanitation connection, but the owner of the property should pay. The department in informal settlement is in the process of appointing a service provider to undertake a backyard dweller survey of Groendal and Mooiwater. The estimated commencement of the project is between January to February 2022. Then at the Lamotte, Vietnam and Roberts Vlei areas, a funding application was submitted to the Provincial Department of Human Settlements, Western Cape, in order to obtain development rights in Lamotte, the Roberts Vlei Road area. The Housing Development Agency, HDA, has been appointed to assist the municipality to transfer the land currently owned by the National Department of Public Works and in infrastructure to the municipality. The Department, Housing Development, has undertaken several feasibility studies in accordance with the guidelines of the Municipal Spatial Development Framework, or MSDF, the abbreviation for the Franschhoek Valley. As a result of the outcome of the feasibility studies, The Lamotte project is currently the only active project for future development. Housing development then, and on land for housing plots. The housing pipeline, taking into account the entire backlog of housing opportunity, has identified strategic areas which could accommodate the housing needs in the WCO24. In order for the municipality to provide sustainable human settlements, it has become apparent when taking into account economy of scale, that mega developments could address the housing need more effectively. The back of Cabot, next to La Provence Street, utilizing the earth at the back of Cabot, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, next to La Provence Street for housing development. The request will be investigated and feedback will be provided during the quarterly reports. All housing projects must be linked to the housing pipeline and approved by council, as well as the Provincial Department of Human Settlements. Then relocation of Mooiwater. Final designs has been submitted to the Department Project Management Unit, or the abbreviation PMU, for upgrading of the road. The Department of and PMU is on a regular basis monitoring the project, and after funding and planning approvals, it will be implemented. It will implement the projects by installing basic services. Title deeds. The total title deed restoration program is currently ongoing. However, challenges have been encountered with deceased owners who have passed on without having a will in place, and departments failing to report the deceased estates at the offices of the Master of the High Court for an estate administrator to be appointed to commence with the transfer process. There were no title deeds handed over in these wards for the 1 and 2 quarters of the first and second quarters of 21-22 financial year. The handover of historical and new title deeds to their rightful beneficiaries is a continuous and ongoing process. Then just looking at the various numbers of title deeds that has been handed over from 2016 to 2021, 341 for Kayamandi, 229 for Franschhoek, 473 for Klapmuts, and Arders Valley 85, Jamestown 160, Kylmore 23, and Cluttersville 21, and finally Penel 35. Total of 1,367. Then we look at the portfolio for open spaces and environment. The first part is the cleaning of rivers. Within the WC24, the Greater Stellenbosch, EPWP projects were used to clean all rivers. Only vegetation were removed from the river verges by EPWP teams. And in terms of parks, Lamotte and Langrug, the park next to the Stibeel River, will be upgraded. Then looking at open spaces, planting and maintaining of trees. Trees are managed and maintained as per the annual plan of operations of urban forestry. Trees can only be planted if there are no underground infrastructure and based on the availability of trees. The planting of trees is subject to the wayleave application process. Swimming pools, no space and funding is available on the current budgets to construct swimming pools. The cutting of grass takes place regularly on a 6-week cycle in parks and then in main roads. Environmental plans and policies, provision was made in the current financial year for their environmental management plans to be implemented by conducting alien clearing. Fire break maintenance and preparation, river cleaning and erosion control. Environmental policies are being enforced and exercised to manage the natural environment in a sustainable manner. If we then look at the portfolio of youth, sport and culture public, looking at the youth, again for the Greater Stellenbosch, the Mayoral Youth Skills Development Program. This program originated from the high unemployment rate among local youth and the need for access to skills development. All courses included a practical placement component along with job seeker program focusing on life skills. The success of the practical placement was challenged due to the struggles experienced in the hospitality industry. And there you can see the amount of participants in each of those categories. Then looking further at youth, the Franschhoek and Lamotte, fire and awareness training was held, job readiness training, teaching, 159 youth made that. Day of Reconciliation reaching 33 youth members. Fire awareness training in Franschhoek was conducted with 23 youth members. Then in terms of sport, again looking at the greater Stellenbosch, all sports grounds vandalized, incidents reported to law enforcement. Then looking at infrastructure services, and the first component, first department is water and wastewater services, which within this area looked after the upgrading of the Wemmershoek wastewater treatment works, phase 1. The construction of the phase 1 is in progress and expected to be completed in June 2022. Phase 2 is in the tender compilation stage and will increase capacity of the works with 3 megalitres per day, enabling the development. Then we're looking at upgrading of networks, sewer pipe upgrading in Groendal, Blossom, Gladiola, Leroux, and Cabrera streets will be done. Franschhoek, Langerig, and Mooiwater informal settlements, ablution maintenance. A service provider has been appointed to do maintenance and disinfection on an ongoing basis. Phasing out of Kayaloos and refurbishment of ablution are done on an ongoing basis. Then indigent households, leak repairs program, and water demand management devices. Indigent households are assisted with internal stroke private leaks in their properties, and water demand management devices are installed free of charge to allow access to the free water. Just noting that normally indigent persons receive 6 kiloliters of water per month, and this device then assists that person to not go over the 6 kiloliters of water. Then looking at borehole augmentation, the municipality is in the process to obtain water use license authorizations, or the short word for that is VULAs, to augment the existing water supply from the City of Cape Town. Stellenbosch municipality aims to supply Wemmershoek with own water sources. Looking at electricity services then, in the greater Stellenbosch, busy compiling way leave applications and planning of projects to improve the overall lighting. So in Franschhoek, the R45 between Bosbo and the railway lines needs lights installed. We're currently negotiating a point of supply with Eskom. We have the material for the street has already been purchased, and we need to just conclude a way leave approval process with the roads department. So hopefully that will soon be done, and then that our total area will be lit right from the Drakensberg turnoff into Franschhoek. Then the electricity for backyard dwellers, the Department of Electricity Services is providing electricity to backyard dwellers, provided that all applications, conditions, and requirements are met. That includes payment of the connection fee by the owner of the property. So again, saying that yes, they may get electricity, but the owner must just give his consent and must pay them for the connection. Then in terms of waste management, we have a door-to-door refuse collection service and area cleaning service, which is ongoing. The implementation of waste minimization projects. This is ongoing with door-to-door household recycling collections and builders' rubble crushing and green waste shedding at the landfill. The extension of the landfill site, you will note that we had to close off our one cell, and because of that had to transfer all waste to Visser's Hawk. We're now preparing a new landfill site, and currently that project is in process. A design engineer has been appointed to undertake the design of the new cell and associated infrastructure. And Eskom is now busy moving a power line for us from within where the cell has to be to the neighboring areas. Roads, stormwater, or roads transport and stormwater, or RTS for short. But as you can see there, it also includes traffic engineering. Then looking at traffic calming, traffic calming feasibility study and assessment has been carried out. Implementation is scheduled for second and third quarter of 21-22 financial year. Then roads, stormwater and traffic engineering. In terms of the available capital and operational budget approved for the current financial year, the following departmental programs are currently underway. There's a road and periodic reseal program. The intersection improvement planning is currently underway for the next round of intersection upgrades. Franschhoek safety of the R45 road must be prioritized. Planning for the upgrading of the Leroux and R45 intersections is currently underway. The municipality will continue with the efforts to identify and propose measures to improve safety along this R45. And just for information, that meeting was held yesterday being the 29th of November with the provincial government on that. Then the portfolio of community development and protection services. Looking at safety and security, and first at neighborhood watches. Neighborhood watches volunteers are being sought. The department assists with the registration of new neighborhood watches or policing forums established in SAP's competency. Those forums are SAP's competency. Franschhoek South, Lamotte, Denegeer, Groendal, neighborhood watches are accredited. The department has also assisted with accreditation with safety equipment to enable them with their operational duties, such as warm jackets, reflective bibs, stun battens, torches, fire extinguishers, bicycles. And then in Lamotte is the only neighborhood watch who did not receive bicycles. However, they received all of the other equipment. Then the training of Neighborhood Watch members have been prioritized in conjunction with the Department of Community Safety and Stellenbosch Municipality in its progress, and is in progress. When this is done, the focus will shift to schools safety. Franschhoek South received broken window training, and Lamotte, Denegeer and Groendal also received broken window training. Then the school patrols. Traffic services do random patrols in all areas. However, due to the limited staff resources, regular patrols around schools cannot be guaranteed on a continuous basis. The municipality do assist with training of scholar patrols where it is requested and safe to do so. Discussions took place between Stellenbosch Municipality and the Western Cape Department of Community Safety for the implementation of the working bus project in the area. Installation of CCTV cameras. Cameras are monitored. A master plan has been developed which will guide the placing and installation of future CCTV cameras. CCTV camera installation at Main Road, the Department of Electrical Service is busy with the installation of the electricity, and thereafter the Department of ICT, Information and Communication team, will install the network followed by the cameras. All cameras are already installed and operational at the Groendal Community Center. The Groendal Waterworks cameras is in progress with the electricity to be installed. Thereafter, the Department of ICT will install the network and then to be followed by the cameras. And then continuing on risk assessment, the disaster risk assessments were conducted in all wards. Criminal and illegal activities, safety and security is a primary function of the South African Police Service. The municipal law enforcement is there to assist. Weekly operations are performed throughout the Greater Stellenbosch, and it includes wards 1 and 2. Appointment and delegation of law enforcement officers. The appointment of additional staff is subject to appropriate funding. The temporary peace officers were appointed in the CBD for the parking project. If we then look at elderly persons, and first in the transversal column, services to elderly persons has severely been compromised by the COVID-19 pandemic. As the most vulnerable groups of citizens, all unnecessary events was postponed or cancelled. The services that were delivered focused around COVID-19 awareness, prevention, and vaccinations. Attention was also paid to the impact of mental health on the elderly resulting from social isolation. Then in terms of the Greater Stellenbosch area in particular, electronic vaccination data systems, EVDS registration, assisted with the registration of old age homes, elderly citizens, community clubs, door-to-door, and vaccination sites. Distribution of awareness information and personal protective equipment to old age homes and community clubs relating to COVID-19 were also done. Then looking at Franschhoek area in particular, elderly group capacity building on financial reporting by clubs, and distribution of sanitation equipment was done. Vaccination registration awareness and the system also done. Then looking at early childhood development, or ECD for short, and children's program. Again, looking at transversal, the municipality continues to work towards strengthening relationships with grassroots organizations to the benefit of local ECDs, or collaborative approach towards the development of the sector, and that will then continue. Looking at Greater Stellenbosch, the workplace readiness and PPE compliance program of the ECD facilities has been done. The capacity building and access to information related to early childhood development, registration in collaboration with the Department of Social Development, Cape Winelands District Municipality, Municipal Planning, and the fire services and TEECs have been done. Assist with the application of process for the ECD stimulus funding applications, assistance with the ECD stimulus funding applications furthermore, and then geographical information system, GIS, mapping of the 131 ECD centers were done. And looking at Franschhoek in particular, a back to school program was done, ECD disaster management training was done, core curriculum training through the Indaba Institute, reaching the 28 ECD practitioners. Disaster management workshop was conducted with 33 ECD practitioners from the Franschhoek and Kayamandi ECD forums, and Child Protection Week was celebrated in participation with DSD, Stelcor, and those further abbreviations. Sorry, it's ELRU, Cotlands, Working on Fire, SAPS, and Internal Municipal Departments. And hence the reason you need to look at the abbreviations every now and then. So looking at gender programs, again, looking at the Greater Stellenbosch, special events and awareness program, which consists of 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children, which has just started. The campaign was launched, and the community program World AIDS Day was celebrated with At Heart. 16 days of activism launched, Windows period session focused on the effects of COVID on families and their survival. If we then looked at the Franschhoek portion, the widow empowerment session focusing on the effect of COVID-19 on families and their survival. And looking at persons and disabilities, Stellenbosch, the Greater Stellenbosch, child protection for persons with disability, and review universal access policy. And for Franschhoek, looking at the wellness program in partnership with the Changeability and Good Hope Psychological Services. Okay, looking at the people on the street, looking at the Greater Stellenbosch, the Give Responsibility program, a campaign to stop the cash economy on the streets, give in a dignified way to persons on the street who need access to social services and a warm bed, as shower facilities and access to social work services. The Cheese app, an electronic coupon, has been developed to assist with the taking cash off the streets, and this means that the residents can assist the homeless persons without being in the vicinity of a retail partner selling coupons. Currently, the municipality have 15 local business supporting the campaign through the sale of these coupons. 5 marketing videos are used on different platforms to educate the public on the campaigns. And in Animal Welfare Stellenbosch, walk a dog in exchange for a coupon. Those programs are being entertained. The project started towards the end of 2021 financial year with almost 56 persons benefiting. One person gained full-time employment through the project, and one was temporarily employed as a driver. So just please note that we like to take cash off the streets, but rather give people coupons and in a way to go and have a nice bed and warm clothing and a warm place to sleep. Thank you. The people on the street continued. Those are the coupons that we spoke about. So again, wanting to take cash off the streets and rather giving coupons and giving them the ability to gain coupons by walking dogs and so forth. Grant in aid, donations to community organizations serving, among others, youth, gender, ECDs, old age homes, health organizations, and sports clubs. Capacity workshop, 162 prospective applicants were treated. Donations, 126 applicants received. Grant in aid, 90 applicants approved. And then looking at the bottom, 3 compulsory workshops on the applications process and policies were conducted in terms of the capacity building workshops, and donations, the 126 applications were received as mentioned. And then finally in grant in aid, an amount of 4,941,179 Rand and 47 cents was used to fund the approved organizations. Social relief and distress, 71 incidences were responded to, and the following resources were distributed. So 337 mattresses, 497 blankets, 155 food parcels, 458 vanity packs, and a total of 17,124 meals. Then looking at the portfolio of corporate services, property management, the first portion, Greater Stellenbosch, building of a new high school or a primary school. A site in Lamotte, Farm 1653, has been identified for a new high school and was approved by council to be built by the provincial government. Land has been awarded to the provincial government for the new school in Lamotte, and they are in the process of transferring the land then to them. The land for ECD facilities, there is currently no specific land available. 24-hour clinic, the Provincial Department of Health indicated that the building in Lamotte has been vandalized and cannot be used anymore. Land can only be made available at the request of the provincial government for the purpose of the clinic. Currently, there are no such applications in place. Then, looking at ward priorities, again, looking at the various ways that ward priorities can be initiated. The first is submit inputs through the electronic submission form. You can do that, submit the inputs through the Stellenbosch Citizen app, or you can do that through the Facebook app or the WhatsApp stroke email. The closing date for submission is the 12th of January 2022. Again, noting the various ways of providing us with all of those. So please, we request the public to make use of those processes to talk to us. Announcements. The Special Development Framework, SDF for short, amendment process. Just first to look at the relationship between the SDF and the IDP. The SDF is a core component that is part of the IDP. Council adopted to amend the SDF for the new 5-year cycle IDP term, and that council resolution was taken on the 29th of September 2021. And that's the core. Then looking at the strategic municipal plan. The SDF is a strategic municipal plan that provides guidance on where and when a budget of all of the government and private sector should be spent in the municipal space to achieve spatial transformation and development outcomes in the municipality. If we then look at the best developed over time, importantly, it's noted that it's important that the SDF considers how a municipal area should be best developed over time. And then finally, the long-term spatial vision. The SDF provides a map of the long-term spatial vision on a path and the path to get there. The amendment process then. The first step would be the need to amend the SDF arose from the review of the SDF and other municipal strategic plans, policies and decisions, i.e. housing pipeline, inclusionary housing and ATC, etc. The next step, the changing circumstances requires an amendment of the 2019 adopted SDF to ensure strategic alignment with the new Council's delivery compact, which is informed by the needs, interests and priorities of communities and service delivery departments. And next, the amendment of an SDF will be prepared as part of the municipality's IDP in accordance with the legislative provisions, namely the MSA, SPLUMA, the Western Cape LUPA, and by the way, SPLUMA stands for Spatial Plan and Land Use Management, and LUPA, the Land Use Plan Act, the A stands for Act, and then the MPBL, which I am not sure what it stands for. Then the next step, the process that will be followed as set out and approved in the 2022-23 IDP process plan will be the project steering committee and not an IGR. Then finally, all stakeholders, government departments and the public will be consulted and afforded opportunities to make representation during this process. Then the SDF amendment actions for the next 12 months, then starting on November 2021, as we are in publishing of the intent to amend the MSDF and invite stakeholders to register. The role players there would be the council. Then during November, December, compilation and adoption of the process plan for the amendment and establishment of the Municipal Project Steering Committee. That will be the role player there is the council. 29 November to 12 January, the SDF amendments, IDP budget public participation period for the development needs and priorities. And there the role players will be the community and stakeholders. Then also November 2021 to February 2022, compilation, distribution of the draft status quo for the assessment of the PSC, and which will then be the PSC and council will be the role players. Then from March to April, adoption of the status quo by council. The council will do that. And then from March to July 2022, the PSC drafts amendments of the MSDF minor changes for council to approve publication for public comment. Again, PSC and council being the role players. And then finally, and on this slide, in September 2022, SDF amendment notice for 60 days public comment again, the community and stakeholders, the role players. Then looking at the Municipal Demarcation Board, municipal boundary redetermination. The Municipal Demarcation Board determines the municipal boundaries in accordance with the Municipal Demarcation Act. Following the 2021 local government elections, the Municipal Demarcation Board will redetermination of the municipal boundaries will then be open. All stakeholders and members of the public who wish to submit proposal may do so from now until the 31st of March 2022. Proposals submitted must be motivated in terms of Section 24 and Section 25 of the MDA, that's the Municipal Demarcation Act, and Sections 2 of the Municipal Structures Act. Proposals to be addressed for the attention of the chairman of the Municipal Demarcation Board. And there you can see the email. Quickly email registry@demarcation.org.za, and then a phone number of, or the fax number of 012-342-2480. And the rest you can see there. Okay, statistics South Africa, we're also at the census 2022 time. The census and large-scale surveys from 1994. The census is conducted once every 10 years. The last one was conducted in 2011, and plans are in place to conduct the fourth population count. In between the census, a large-scale sample survey is conducted, e.g. community service survey, or at 2007, and the similar exercise in 2016. In the process, the timeline and timetable, so it'll start off, and it has already started off, with the registration, when the registration opens, and then from the 3rd to the 15th of December 2021, national training will be done. From the 3rd to the 13th of January next year, provincial training will be done from the 18th to the 28th of next year of January. The district training will be done, and then on the 2nd of February 22 will be census night. Thereafter, on the 3rd to the 7th of February 22, online enumeration will happen. 3 to 28 February, a data collection will be done, and then 1 to 9 March 2022, a non-responsive follow-up or map-up will be done, and then it looks like it will be finalized on the 10th of March. Contract employment, the night of the 2nd of February 2022 will be the reference point on which everyone within the borders of South Africa will be counted. Statistics South Africa, or Stats SA, is in a nationwide recruitment drive to appoint prospective candidates for field work that includes collection of data from respondents and other activities involving the enumeration and post-enumeration phases. Recruitment will only be through our online database to ensure that people are recruited from the areas of residence. The recruitment databases will be open from the 25th of October, already happened, and then closing on the 31st of December 2021. To register on the database, a data-free visit to www.statsa.gov.za/HR. You do not have to make any payment to register on the HR database. Okay, then we reach our final slide, and just reading that, have your say. You can phone the IDP office at 021-808-8060, or you can email at idp@stellenbosch.gov.za, or you can phone the SDF office at 021-808-8607, and email them at spatial.planning@stellenbosch.gov.za. Okay, members of the public, we've come to the end of our presentation. I know it's a long-winded approach, but please go through it very thoroughly and very eagerly. Please make sure that you give us your proposals, because this is how we run the municipality. So if we don't know what you want, then we can't do budget for that in our budgets. So thank you very much for looking at my face and the presentation, and thank you.